When it comes to artificial intelligence, the big question for consultants right now is which generative AI should I choose? Because whether it's ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini or something else, when you commit to one of these, it's actually going to reduce the amount of options you've got in potentially some of these other areas. And every single week, the generative AI wars are continuing and one improves over another. So which one should you choose? Well, today on the show, I'm going to answer that question and make sure that you're making the best decision for your consulting business.
I will never be the same, 'cause that's what it takes.
Welcome to your Consulting Business Podcast. My name is Russell Pearson, and this is episode 172. We're talking about artificial intelligence again, and it's been a while since I've done that, and there has been a very specific reason why not. Because I was very hot on AI at the start, and what I noticed very quickly is that there was a war going on. All the different generative AIs are fighting against one another to try and be the most prominent, which means that every week they're improving over one another. So the question that I had, which was, which one do I commit to? And so I had multiple subscriptions in multiple different products, and I was using them for different purposes. And what I noticed is that one would become very, very good in one area, and I would start using this, and then I heard that another one had got better, and I would try that, and it had got better. And then the one that I was sort of starting to commit to, which was actually ChatGPT, has gone way down in the list of usage because there are so many better products right now. So what do you do in that situation? How do you actually go about making a decision? Well, today I'm going to show you not just how to make a decision, but how to actually avoid the decision entirely and get more opportunities for you and your consulting practice. Because when it comes to running a consulting practice now in the age of AI, adaptability is the answer. So before I get into the wars of things and how to actually choose your best ally when it comes to the artificial intelligence that you're going to align with, let's talk about the different levels that people are at when they're looking to integrate artificial intelligence into their consulting practice. There tends to be 5 different levels, and the first one is just prompts. Right, most people have experienced prompting a generative AI. So you will give it a request and it will give you a response. And so learning how to do the best requests, so you can create images or you can create videos or you can create PDFs and reports, right? That's what people have been getting relatively good at. Now, if you haven't done that, you can go to chatgpt.com and you can try it for free. So at least you get the understanding about what I'm talking about. Now, that's level 1. That's the basic stuff, but most people tend to be doing that on a daily or a weekly basis. Level 2 is where you want to customize the specific prompt so that you can create a little engine called a GPT or a gem if you're using Gemini, and you'll create like a customized version of the prompting engine so that you'll say, this is just for this one task. Maybe it's writing resumes or writing biographies, or maybe this is just about writing a type of article that's a specific sort of size, and it has a prompt that sits underneath it. We just give it information and it runs the same task over and over again. Now, this can create really nice customized work. It means that the GPT or the gem is quite effective at getting the output consistently that we're after. But the problem is, it's called Gem and GPT because the GPT is actually locked into ChatGPT's environment, right? Gem is locked into Gemini's environment, which means that if you're starting to create these tools, you're starting to commit to one thing over another. And with the different artificial intelligences improving and competing against one another, it'll be great to not have to lock yourself into one of these areas. So I'm going to recommend that people stop doing that, and I'll show you what to do instead. Now, you've got these custom GPTs or gems. From there, you can move into agents, where an agent will do a number of different things in a sequence so that it creates an outcome. Not just one prompt, it'll have a number of prompts, and it creates finishes those prompts, and then it gives you an output. That's how you can create an agent. You can also schedule agents. You can get them to do things at different times when you want them to do them. From there, we go to level 4, which is about how to create a workflow of these agents. So there'll be a sequence, it'll do this sequence, then it'll do the next sequence, then the next sequence, and it could, for instance, receive something and then create a report about it and then send you an email and send someone else an email. It can do all these things in sequence, which are workflows. And that's no different really than the workflows you might have within your business, but now they're automated and the artificial intelligence is looking after them. From there, we can take one other step, which is to start integrating these workflows into our daily business by using the data within our business, which is potentially opening up some risks, but this is the way everybody's moving, or to actually get a team member in to start building these workflows for you. So there's lots of people who are getting virtual assistants who have some understanding of this, who are coming in to build the workflows for the consultant, so they don't have to be the technical expert. They can actually focus on consulting. And then they've got this virtual assistant who is creating the workflows for their business, which is over time going to save them a lot of time and money, right? So these are the levels that we're looking at. But as I said with level 2, once you want it to get to do something specific, you are really starting to lock yourself into one of the systems or another. So there is a better way. Now, the better solution right now, and it may change over time, but right now is OpenRouter, which is a website you can get a free membership to, where it allows you to select from any of the different models that are out there. And there are hundreds of these different models. So you don't have to choose ChatGPT. You don't have to choose Gemini or Claude or any of the other options that are out there, DeepSeek, etc., etc. You can select the best one for the job, right? So you can pick any of them, and all you'll do is you'll pay for the tokens that you use. So the way artificial intelligence runs is that each time it runs a process, it costs a token. And so when you have a subscription to Claude, or you have a subscription to OpenAI or Gemini or whatever it might be, you are paying for a certain amount of tokens, and you won't tend to use them all because it doesn't cost a lot of money to actually run these tokens. In fact, on average, most people will have like $5 or $10 worth of tokens that they might spend in a month. And most of you have like these $20, $30 subscriptions, even higher, to some of the generative AIs, right? So you only pay for use, which is the good thing about this OpenRouter. But the best part is that you can actually select from any of the different models, and you just pick the one that's going to be best for the activity that you want to do. So that's the first step, is understanding that you can get this subscription to OpenRouter to give you access to all of them at any one time. Now, here's the problem with OpenRouter, is that each time you have a chat, which is like one stream of consciousness, it doesn't remember all the other streams of consciousness. It doesn't remember all the other chats that you had. Whereas if you had a membership with ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude or whatever it might be, it remembers the other activities because it can search the other activities. And so we need something to work with OpenRouter so that it can do multiple tasks and it can be self-referential. I can actually go back and remember what it did at one time in one chat in another chat. And so the tool that we use for this is called N8N. And N8N is a workflow building tool, right? So this allows us to build workflows, which allows us to tap into not just the 30 or 40 different pieces of software that the other generative AIs will connect with. So it'll integrate with thousands of different tasks and different pieces of software. So we can create a workflow, which is, again, a sequence of activities that allows us to, instead of plugging in ChatGPT or instead of plugging in Claude or Gemini or one of the others, we can actually just plug in OpenRouter, which gives us access to all the different models of generative AI. Right? So we can literally build a workflow, and this week we could use this model, and then we can go back into that workflow and change the model that we're using because there's a better model that's come out next week, right? So we can change it up. It gives us the flexibility that we're looking for. And so you've got these two pieces of software now. You've got OpenRouter, which is free to have the subscription for, and then we only just pay for the usage. And on the flip side, we've then got N8N, which does have a subscription if you just want to pay for the hosted version of N8N, but then has this great option for those who are technically savvy, which is that it's an open source piece of software, which means you can put it on any other platform. So, for instance, I was able to set up by myself, mind you, and I've got some technical know-how, but I'm not, I'm not a current coder. I was back in the day, but you don't need that much code. Great thing about AI right now is you can ask it what to do specifically and it will give you specific steps. But basically, I was able to create a virtual private server, and I was able to put N8N on it, which means that I can then run my own workflows for free now on my own private server. And so I can have any amount of activity happening there, and I'm just using the server that I've got set up. Now, there are other options where you can just buy a computer and you can run it on the computer. Now, obviously, there's a setup cost with running a computer, or you might have a computer. The problem with running it on your own computer is that if it needs access to the internet, it needs to be able to access the internet whenever it wants. And so you might go, well, today I don't need it to access the internet, so I'll shut it down or whatever it might be. But if you have the request coming from outside, so let's say that you created a lead magnet and someone requested the lead magnet and you've got the workflow giving the lead magnet to the person and then sending them a bunch of emails, you're going to want that system alive all the time or awake all the time, right? So there are some situations, especially if you're working just within your own business, where you can set up a computer that actually looks after all these workflows internally inside your business. Or you can use a virtual server like what I have that will run 24/7 and be awake all the time, so it can take and receive requests as well as sending them out. With these workflows, we can now build all sorts of sequences so that we can have things happening while we're actually asleep, or while we're at the beach, or while we're actually doing what we should be doing, which is speaking to clients. And so let me just talk about some of the opportunities that you have for building these workflows using things like OpenRouter and N8N. So rather than give you a list of recommended workflows that you can look to implement inside your consulting business, I've decided to actually show you a better way. What I'm going to show you here is N8N's workflow templates. And so if you go to n8n.io/workflows, you'll see that currently there are 9,107 workflow automation templates that you can use within your business. Now, it's not just business. There's things outside of business as well. But what's great about this is it enables you to have a look at some of the things that are available right here and now. So Personal Life Manager with Telegram. Basically, you can get Telegram, which is an app on your phone, and you can talk into Telegram to give it a message or type into it. It then sends that somewhere and organizes the thing you want it organized. So that's an example. Another one here is talk to your Google Sheets using ChatGPT 5. Or here's another one, create AI viral videos with VEO3 and then upload them to TikTok. So it'll do that sequence for you. And what's great about this, because they're templated, you basically just need to click a button to install them. And so you can search, I'm advising you to go and have a look at this page and type in some ideas that you might have or some subjects you're interested in, and it will give you an example of what's available. So for instance, here's sales, right? I'll click sales. It's now gone to the top 1,289 sales automation workflows, and within that, there are all sorts of different examples. You know, scrape recent news about a company before you make a call, or create Salesforce accounts based on the Google Sheets data. So you can integrate different pieces of software. And what's interesting about that is within my business, one of the pieces of software I've been using for a lot of years is Zapier. And Zapier is an integration software. So it connects this piece of software with that piece of software. And it's kind of like a Swiss Army knife doing that job. And so what I would love to get rid of is Zapier because it's very messy and it's difficult to know what's linking in with what. I'm going to be using N8N to remove Zapier from my life, not only because it's confusing, but because it's very expensive. The more workflows that you're adding to a Zapier, the more it costs you. The more workflows you add to this, it doesn't cost you anymore. It's how much you use them that is where the cost comes in. And so I advise you to go and have a look. Go and check out this website. Go and have a look at some of the options that are available for all sorts of different uses and see if it's relevant for you. So in summary, you do not have to be part of the artificial intelligence war. You do not have to get into the battlefield. But what you can do is you can sit back, use a funnel like OpenRouter, and actually allow the best versions of generative AI to come through to you and then implement them through those workflows, right? So you don't have to choose in this scenario. You can actually just choose to not choose by creating a system that allows the best stuff to come to you. Now, the question really is, how much artificial intelligence are you going to implement into your consulting practice? For me, it's not going to be a lot. It's going to be a very small amount where I'll get the artificial intelligence and the workflows to do very small repetitive tasks, some administrative things, the things that are going to give me more time to spend with clients, because that's where my time is most valuable. It's not about giving people answers. right? People have been able to get answers since Google and search engines, even Alta Vista came out, right? People were able to get answers. Even from the library, people were able to get answers. And now answers are at our fingertips, yes, through AI. But even now, with the answers being there, people are not taking the steps. And so the core function of a consultant is to help people identify the best way forward and to make the decision to take that step. And that's really where the focus of my work is. It's where I want the focus of my work to be, there with the client, helping them make those decisions. My name's Russell Pearson. This is the Your Consulting Business Podcast. If you haven't already subscribed, I would love you to go and do that. Hit the subscribe button, ring the bell so you get notified when the next episode becomes available. There are 171 other episodes of the show that you can go and check out once you close off on this one. Until next time, stay passionate, and I will catch you on the next one.